People are starting to ask, what kind of a future will he have? What will he be able to do now after all of this? My answer to that is, I wouldn't really worry about it. He will be just fine. And I basically can explain that in just two words: Bill Clinton. If you think of what Bill Clinton went through and where he is, David Petraeus's wrongdoing does not offend people quite, I think, the way Bill Clinton's did. Having an adulterous affair isn't quite on a level with having a brief fling with a near child in the Oval Office. Moreover, David Petraeus has really about as good a resume as anybody could have. When you think that he graduated in the top of his class from West Point, he has a PhD from Princeton, he was the architect of the surge in Iraq, he's the head of the CIA. People talked about him as a possible vice presidential candidate for Mitt Romney. There were times when they talked about him as a possible presidential candidate. This is somebody of which people could not have thought more highly in professional terms as a brilliant, capable man in any of a broad range of areas, and I don't think that will change. I think the question of what realm he can serve in the future is an important one, but even in politics, I think he could have a future. I think when you look at, for instance, Rudolph Giuliani or Newt Gingrich, those are people who had some sort of pretty unsavory personal dealings behind them, even at the peaks of their political careers. They certainly had well-respected political careers after that. They survived tough things in their personal lives. And I think the political sphere is probably tougher than a lot of the private sphere. I don't see why he couldn't emerge in corporate America. It's interesting to see that he's already got a future laid out for him in the latest Call of Duty video game, which I gather was just coming out. He's the Secretary of Defense under a president who looks a lot like Hillary Clinton. I think that might be the one job we know he won't get in the future. After his adultery, I think we can be pretty sure that he will not have the kind of top security job that's like Secretary of Defense or head of the CIA. But I think an awful lot remains open to him outside of that. But outside of being something like Secretary of Defense or being president, and even that could, I suppose, be possible down the road. People are very forgiving. I think the one thing that would prevent all that is if it turned out there had been a lot more going on and if he turned into a Tiger Woods. But there's absolutely no evidence of that, no reason to suspect that. So I think Petraeus has a great deal of damage and healing to do within his family. I can't imagine that wouldn't be the case. But in terms of a professional future, I don't think we really need to worry about that.